The Black Sea Grain Initiative, an agreement brokered by the United Nations, has been extended. The news about this appeared on the UN website on March 18th.
The Black Sea Grain Initiative, alongside the Memorandum of Understanding on promoting Russian food products and fertilizers to the world markets, are critical for global food security, especially for developing countries. We remain strongly committed to both agreements and we urge all sides to redouble their efforts to implement them fully. From the UN note to correspondence on the extension of the Black Sea Grain Initiative.
The press release, however, does not indicate for how long the agreement has been extended. Vice Prime Minister of Ukraine Alexander Kubrakov tweeted that it had been extended for 120 days and thanked UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, President Erdogan, Turkish Minister of National Defense and all partners for complying with the agreements.
Black Sea Grain Initiative agreement is extended for 120 days. Due our joint efforts, 25 million tons of Ukrainian grain delivered to world markets. Alexander Kubrakov, Vice Prime Minister, Minister for Development of Communities, Territories and Infrastructure of Ukraine on Twitter.
Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan also announced the extension of the deadline. He noted that it will also work after March 19th, when the agreement expired.
As a result of our negotiations with the two parties, we have achieved an extension of this deal, which ended on March 19th.
The deal is being extended for 60 days, Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova told reporters on Thursday, March 16th, without giving any details. Zakharova also complained that Western sanctions prevent the export of food and fertilizers from Russia. But 3 days later, there was no immediate reaction from Moscow that the deal had been extended for 120 days. The Russians understand that this is illegitimate, and the extension of the agreement is regulated by lawyers, and there are no other deadlines, the experts believe.
Russia wants to maintain good relations with Turkey and with the UN, since Erdogan acts as an intermediary between Russia and the West. From an economic point of view, Russia needs to supply its own grain. Now it is accelerating the export of its own wheat. I remind you that this year Russia has a record wheat harvest. If they did not extend the grain deal, this would affect the freight prices for Russian wheat. Respectively, Russian exporters and farmers would receive less money.
The war in Ukraine, which shocked the global economy, hit the countries of the global south hard. According to a report released by UNICEF, 12 countries, including Afghanistan, Burkina Faso, Chad, Ethiopia, Kenya, Yemen and others, are at the epicenter of the food crisis. At a shelter in the Al-Shaab camp in Yemen, for example, dozens of families are on the verge of starvation, with food shortages forcing mothers to starve to feed their children.
I know I'm malnourished. When the medical mobile clinic came here and they confirmed that I was malnourished due to hunger and fatigue. Also, life is hard, so we can't afford fruits like apples or lemons or any foods with vitamins and nutritional value.
And in Fiji, the price of imported food rose by an average of 7% due to the food crisis. Even the basic ingredients for preparing simple dishes have become inaccessible. First of all, this concerns flour and cereals, the UN reports. To solve this problem, local farmers were forced to look for an alternative to Ukrainian grain. Alita is a farmer. Now she grows cassava on her plantation, a type of potato. When the root crop ripens, it is wrapped and dried and then ground into flour.
Yes, it's more nutritious and it's easier to make our own flour, because the flour we get it from the supermarkets now, it's really expensive, and now we just get pull out the cassava, we come and do our own cassava and we do our own flour.
According to the UN World Food Programme, 345 million people are facing food supply problems due to the war unleashed by Russia against Ukraine. As a part of the Black Sea Grain Initiative, since August 2022, about 25 million tons of grain and food products have been exported from Ukraine to 45 countries of the world, which helped to reduce global food prices and stabilize markets, the UN said. At the same time, according to the results of 2022, the export of agricultural products brought Ukraine about $20 billion, said Minister Minister of Agrarian Policy Mykola Solsky. Despite the fact that this is half of what it was before the war, foreign exchange earnings helped the Ukrainian economy survive. Reported by Roman Smoler, Natalia Belokudrya, UATV News.